Welcome in. It is Big Ten Today. We are presented by Rally House, the official team shop of the Big Ten. Your city, your house, Rally House. And look who is in the house today. It is Jake Butt. It's Thursday. Last Thursday we had games. This Thursday we just have anticipation and a lot of it.
We've been anticipating this Texas-Michigan game going on a few years now. Big noon kickoff, Gus, Joel, two of the premier programs, a top 10 matchup. It'll reveal a lot. You know, I mean, Michigan's replacing we saw the offense as they introduced a ton of new pieces. This is one of those games that will reveal a ton.
I'm fascinated by this game. I think we're going to learn, as you said, a lot. I mean, we'll learn a lot about Texas, too. I'm more interested in what we'll learn about Michigan and whether or not they are legitimately in a position to compete on the national stage again this year for a national championship. I think we know they're the kind of team that could be in the college football playoff, no doubt. Have they reloaded to the extent that they can compete with a team like this? It's the big game. It's our big story as well. Number 10, Michigan, hosting third-ranked Texas. Amazingly, it's just the second ever meeting between these two storied programs, and the first in the regular season. They played an epic Rose Bowl 20 years ago. Two of the 5 winningest programs in the history of the sport. It's Big Ten versus SEC, and the Wolverines well aware they're in for a battle.
Next step now for Michigan. You've got Texas coming in, and they look strong. It's a team that was in the college football playoff last year.
I believe that game right there is a big test for our season.
And here come the defending champion Wolverines.
Great opportunity for our team to, not just be tested, but it's not a challenge, but an opportunity for us to go show us who we are against a really good team. Another team that was in the college football playoff last year, who obviously returned their quarterback, returned some production, and got some production. So we're just stoked and ready.
Picked off, Makari Page.
This opportunity shows us who we are early on in the season. So I feel like that game, being the second game of the year for us, it should be a lot of fun and a great opportunity for us.
Donovan Edwards, here's the down the sideline, touchdown Wolverines.
We're going to take the same approach as it will be Fresno State or Texas or, every other game that we play. We're going to come in with the same approach and the same mindset.
It's awesome, another great opportunity. That's what this season's all about, and it'd be awesome to put a statement out there to show that Michigan football is and always will be.
So that kind of sets the scene for us, Jake. Let's focus on Michigan and week one. The defense played great, and I think we expected that they would be really good defensively this year with all the star power they have back, and that proved out at least in week one. The issue was the offense. What needs to happen offensively for them to be competitive in this game and to win this game, frankly?
Everyone has to step their game up. Everyone has to be at their best. But, that's true in this type of matchup. That's what makes these fun. Each team, each individual has a chance to play at their best, and then that'll give you an opportunity to win. And I look at the Fresno State film, and certainly there was some left to be desired. And you look at, let's start with Davis Warren's statistics. There's a few plays that were opportunities, like forks in the road. His interception to Frederick Moore, that's the correct read. He was open. If that ball gets up earlier and if that ball gets placed out and to the left a little bit more, all of a sudden that's a 50-yard touchdown. There was a double move that Tyler Morris ran. He won, but he was jogging out of his break. All of a sudden, that's an incompletion. So then you're looking at it, and if those two went a little bit differently, Davis Warren has 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0. Think about the conversation we would be having, how different that would be. But now you're playing Texas, and it can't be about what might happen. It now has to happen. So across the board, everyone has to be better. I also look at the offensive line, and what was a strength for Michigan is in the past few years, they had 5 individuals that played as one. They were one unit, always on the same page. Yeah. Last week, I saw 2 guys doing one thing, 3 guys doing it. They have got to get on the same page. They're rotating centers. If Michigan wants to win this game, you talk about the defense, it'll most likely be a lower scoring game, but they got to control the ball offensively, starts with the run game.
That was really, I think, the most concerning part of it was their bread and butter, as we know, has been the run game. When they've taken shots offensively, certainly last year with JJ, they were able to hit him downfield, but this was not a team that was taking a high volume of deep shots. They were a team that liked to control the ball and play really good defense. The issue is if you're going to control the ball, first of all, you need a better performance from Donovan Edwards. I mean, Khalil Mullings looked like the #1 back in that game. But to your point, it's hard to run the ball effectively if the holes aren't there.
And the shots were off of play action, which goes back again to running the ball. Now, what do we know about Donovan Edwards? In the biggest game, he shows up,
great.
right? So, let's throw that last week out. We know they call him Big Game Don. You'd expect him to have a big game. But I do think that's an interesting dynamic because Khalil Mullings and Donovan Edwards have different skill sets. Mullings reminds me a ton of Hassan Haskins. Both of them came in as linebackers. Both of them, switched positions to running back, and he still has that angry running that a linebacker you'd expect from a linebacker.
He'll run you over. Edwards will run
right
past
through you.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I wonder, and I do look at it. I say, the offensive system. I don't even think they use 60% of what they'll use versus Texas this week. So that's an adjustment. And Colston Loveland showed up big. I mean, Davis Warren was comfortable looking to him in the big. Texas is going to take away Colston Loveland. So now these other guys have to step up. If Texas is going to commit more resources to Colston, other guys got to step up.
Hey, real quick, I want to turn it to the other side of the ball because Michigan's defense did play fabulously. Texas, we know they have a huge edge at quarterback, and for no other reason than experience of Quinn Ewers versus Davis Warren or if Alex Orji comes in. But Texas is down 2 running backs for this season. I mean, they have some offensive challenges as well. They're really good on the offensive line. But what do you think about that matchup, Michigan's defense, and perhaps its ability to dictate this game a little bit and take some of the pressure off of Michigan's offense?
They have to. And they got great speed outside. So the strength of Texas is going to be throwing the football. And what we saw week 1 versus Fresno State was Wink Martindale deciding to send a lot of pressure. And I think that game plan has to change this week. You mentioned the running backs. Okay, now we hear about the front 4 and the 2 linebackers. Those guys have to win without help. They have to shut down the run by themselves, win first and second down. And I think this week there should be more 2-high shells to help the corners and slow down that vertical passing attack. All of a sudden, let's see this Michigan D-line get after Quinn Ewers. That's got to be the key. Can they get to Quinn Ewers before he gets the ball out to his playmakers? That is a key element in this game.
So that's a game with college football playoff implications. I don't think there's any doubt about it for both teams.